You go to work, you take the kids to school, and everything seems normal, but you're numb. Does this sound familiar? Hi, my name is Michele Paradise, and welcome to my channel where I merge evidence-based information coupled with my own personal experiences to help you navigate the most important relationship in your life, which is the one with yourself. And today I'm going to be talking about and unpacking what I just described, also known as functional freeze. So let's start with what it's not. Functional freeze isn't laziness. It's not a lack of motivation, and it's not a personal failure. It is a state of shutdown, but with a twist. So on the outside, you're functioning. You might be working, parenting, socializing, but inside, your nervous system is in a prolonged freeze response, numbed out, flat, and disconnected from your own emotional life. Does this sound familiar? I remember this all too well in my relationship, in my marriage with a narcissist. I looked to the rest of the world as if I was functioning on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders. But inside, when I came home, I just, I was numb. I wanted to be by myself. I wanted to hide under the duvet. It's not like the acute freeze response where something scary happens and your body goes still like a deer in the headlights. Functional freeze is chronic. It's the aftermath of prolonged stress, trauma, or emotional neglect. In survival mode, it's like a loop. You're not fully present, not fully alive. You're just showing up, really. So let's talk about the science for a minute. Our autonomic nervous system has three main modes. One is fight, where we mobilize and confront the threat. That's not always physical, that can be emotional, psychological. We just unpack that and process that in our minds. Flight, escape the danger. We can also do that in our mind, but many of us do that with our body. We leave, we run, we get away from the danger. Freeze is shut down to survive. This is what children do because children can't fight. Everybody's bigger than them. Children can't leave and get an apartment in the next town, so they freeze. And in that frozen state, they adapt their personality to survive. And one of those can be people pleasing, as we've talked about. And another one of those actually can be narcissistic personality style. But there's a fourth state of trauma response, and that's called functional freeze, a hybrid mode where the body stays dysregulated but keeps performing. Sound familiar? I really experienced this, and everybody thought I was okay, but I wasn't. This is explained through Polyvagal Theory, introduced by Dr. Stephen Porges. He talks about how the dorsal vagal branch of the vagus nerve, which is that nerve that runs from the base of the brain all the way down to the gut, deals with all of our major organs, our heart, our gut, our liver, so everything feeds from that. And it's really important that we are in a good state. In fact, there's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And we want to be in parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, whereas the sympathetic nervous system is fight, flight. So there you go. And when we are in this functional freeze, the dorsal vagal branch of the vagus nerve leads to shutdown when the body perceives that neither fight nor flight is possible. Right? Makes perfect sense, right? We can't do either. If you've been in a narcissistic relationship where there's constant gaslighting, emotional neglect, or walking on eggshells, or all of those, your system learns it can't escape or fight back. So it freezes, it literally freezes. And unlike total collapse, functional freeze lets you keep going robotically, automatically. You're surviving, but disconnected. So you might come home from work or socializing and you just feel dissociated with your environment. That's just one aspect of it. But I want you to be thinking about some ways that you do this because we all deal with this slightly differently. Narcissistic relationships are the perfect breeding ground for this state of functional freeze. And I'm going to give you some reasons why. Because you're constantly doubting yourself. You're doubting your reality. So you're between fight, flight, and freeze. You're 1 minute you're thinking of leaving, and the next minute you're thinking everything is your fault. You're over functioning to avoid conflict. You're making nice. You want to preempt the conflict so that it doesn't come to conflict. You suppress your needs just to stay safe. So you shut down your emotions and you lose connection to what you're feeling. And that's why it's important that you go into that feeling state. So it's like this, it's that cognitive dissonance where you're going from one to the other. You feel bruised inside, your brain feels bruised. All of this confuses your nervous system. So over time, your body learns that authentic expression like crying, getting angry, even relaxing is unsafe. You just can't go there because it may be perceived to be something else. So it switches off emotion and sensation just to survive. This is why so many survivors say, I didn't even know I was traumatized. That was me. I didn't. I was getting things done, but I felt dead inside. That's functional freeze. And as a matter of fact, I became more busy. I became more distracted because I had all this sort of anxiety, this anxious energy running in the background that I just got a lot done. So here are some signs you might be living in a state of functional freeze. You feel emotionally flat, even when life is good. You just can't seem to find the joy in it. It's almost as if you're observing life and not part of it. You have a hard time starting tasks, but once you start, you power through them. Gosh, I remember this one so well. And I kept saying yes to everything because it was the only way I could get through things, which really burned me out. You feel disconnected from your body. And this can cause a lot of health issues because people just aren't paying attention to their body giving them the messages. Great book by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk called The Body Keeps the Score. And this is exactly it. If you ignore your body and your mind is in such a state of functional freeze, it will catch up with you. Your body will catch up and it won't be pretty. You isolate yourself socially, but don't feel sad about it. It's just like, can't be bothered. I'd like to go. I'd like to see John or Francis or Mary Sue, but I just can't be bothered. Another one is you can't cry even when you want to. It's just stuck. It's really stuck inside of you. And you're exhausted, but can't truly rest. You can't sleep well. You're very restless. Your mind is whirring and whizzing, ruminating. You don't feel joy. Just a sense of getting through the day. And it's almost like you get up in the morning and you have this list of things to do, but there's no joy, there's no color, there's no texture. It's just flat. And when you lie your head on the pillow, it's like, okay, I got all that done. But there's no feeling about it, either good or bad. It's the trauma response no one talks about because it looks like you're managing. I mean, no one asked me really how I was doing. They did it first, but then they thought I was managing okay, so they stopped asking. But inside, you know something's wrong. There is a way out of functional freeze, and it isn't force, it's safety. You can't think your way out of it. You can't charge through it. You can't keep calm and carry on. But you can slowly bring your body back into regulation because functional freeze is dysregulation. So here's what helps breath work. I like 4-8 breathing, and it's deep belly breathing, but you do 3 breaths for a count of 4 in through the nose like this, and out through the mouth for a count of 8. So you double the out breath for the in breath. 4 in, 8 out, in through the nose, out through the mouth, times 3. It really resets you. I feel better already, and I've only done one. Gentle movement, walking, stretching, yoga, nothing high intensity, not going to the gym and the machines and lifting weights and all that, just enough to wake the body. Oh, this is one of my favorites, singing or humming. This stimulates the vagus nerve. Any vibration around this part of our body stimulates the vagus nerve and signals to your brain that you're safe. Even if you can't sing, just hum, sing, whatever. No one's listening. Touch. Self-soothing through a hand on your heart. Some people like a weighted blanket or gentle massage. And nature. Being in a green space calms the nervous system more than you realize. Therapy is also good, especially somatic work with a trauma-informed therapist. You don't want approaches that force emotional breakthroughs. You want approaches that invite safety at your pace. And one of the most important steps is recognizing that this is not your fault. You adapted to survive and now it's safe. to come home to yourself. I love comments. I'd love you to add some comments below. And if you like this video today, please hit the red bell to subscribe. I'd love you to follow me. And if there's some topics that I haven't mentioned or you haven't seen in my gallery of videos, please ask. I'm always happy to consider some new ideas. All that remains for me to say is thank you very much, and please stay safe.